Hey friends, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Savannah Grace and I am so excited, you guys, because today we are making sourdough bread. This is one of my favorite recipes. So many people ask me for it often. So y'all, let's just hop right into it. So what you see me doing is this is my starter. Her name is Dottie. Y'all say hey, Dottie. And she is very active. I fed her a little bit earlier that day, and so when you're doing sourdough, you want to make sure that your sourdough starter is active. And so I poured her into a bowl. I add some water, and what I'm going to be doing next is I'm going to be stirring it all together, and you're going to be looking for what is called the milky consistency. And basically what that is you are just going in, you're stirring it up and getting it to where it looks like milk. And as you can see, I like to go with my hands and just really make sure I get every single thing really dissolved up in there. Next, I have my flour. I am adding 1,000 grams of flour, and I just added in. And some people like to start stirring with a spoon. I think I started, and I very quickly came to realize I'm not about that, y'all. I just stir and stir, but normally I just go straight in, and it makes a mess. I'm gonna warn you guys, it makes a very large mess, but I think that is the fun in cooking, and so I love it. So basically what I'm doing is I am actually kneading this for about 3 to 5 minutes. And so what I'm doing is I am beginning to build up the process of the gluten. And as you can see, when I first started with the dough, it was really crumbly and it still is super sticky. But what I'm basically doing is I am just really bringing and kneading the dough until it kind of becomes one. So you can see it's not as crumbly anymore. I let that sit for 2 hours, an hour or two. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to add some salt and then another little bit of water just to kind of help that salt dissolve. Now here I'm using Himalayan salt. I have used Celtic salt. I have used sea salt. I mean, there's literally, I think as long as it's just salt, kosher salt, whatever, it works. And so here I'm just using Himalayan salt, and I'm just going to go in and I'm just going to pinch this. I'm going to pinch it up, and really, again, I'm going to go back in and I'm going to knead it for probably another 5 minutes until all that water and salt is nicely incorporated. And just again, and you can see how different the dough looks versus that first go around. Now it's really starting to come together and take shape, and you can see all that flour is absorbing water. So I'm going to cover it up, and what I did with this method is I actually put it in the fridge and I let it sit overnight. It's a slower fermentation process. This was the first time I ever did this, y'all, so I was a little nervous, but it worked out perfectly. I let that sit in the fridge for about 8 to 10 hours. Then the next morning, I just simply started out my dough by laying it out on the counter, separating it out, and doing that. So note, if you are not going to do it in the fridge and you want to just make your dough regularly during the day, one, I would suggest starting the process earlier, and two, another thing that I would suggest is that instead of letting it proof for the 8 hours, only let it proof until it doubles in size. And so that is what you do, and then everything after that you do what I'm doing here, which what I'm doing here is I am just simply shaping the loaves. So like I said earlier, we were building gluten, and we're doing that again, except we are building gluten in that circle shape, which is a classic sourdough shape. And so I am just stretching and rolling and doing that. And one of the loaves, I actually put them in a bowl because it takes about 45 minutes to an hour to bake. So I put it in a bowl and I just kind of let it keep rising. I covered it up and let it keep rising, and I did that with that one loaf. And then with the other loaf, I just put it on parchment paper. I scored it a little bit. Y'all, I'm not fancy with the scoring. I just literally do the basics. Put it on parchment paper, put it in my, Dutch oven, which look how cute she is. Oh my gosh, I'm obsessed. I got it for a little early Christmas present. I love it. Put it in my oven, put my oven at 400 degrees, either 375 or 400. And I just let it bake for probably about 45 minutes. The last 10 minutes of it, I take off the lid, let it get crispy. And y'all, as you can see, it is so pretty. So you take that out, let it cool. Look how pretty this loaf was, so big. I love it so much. And tip, let it cool before you cut into it. Do not cut into it hot. It will, it will mess it up. But y'all, that is it. I hope you guys have a Merry Christmas. I love you guys, and if y'all want to see more videos like this, just let me know.